Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, devotees, please accept our humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Welcome to this morning's Srimad Bhagavatam class, which is from Canto 2, Chapter 7, and texts 34 and 35. We're fortunate this morning to have Her Grace Vrindavanesvari Radhika Mataji from ISKCON, Philadelphia, to give the class. Hare Krishna, Mataji, please accept our humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, please accept my obeisances. All glories of Prabhupada. Good morning, everyone. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Vidūratha Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Yadavaradari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Yadavaradari Shodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajikacharya Asatari Sata His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajikacharya Asatari Sata His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. Ananta Kota Vaishnava Vrindika Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Sikaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Adwaita Gadara Shiva Sati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakan Radhakan Gitar Govardhan Ki Jai. Mayapurdam Ki Jai. Jamuna Devi Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. And Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande. All glories, the assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
All glories, the assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
All glories, the assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga Hari Hari Bol. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminati Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatade Shatarane Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayana Namaskrita Naram Chaiva Narottama Devam Sarasvatim Vyasyam Jatotayam Adirayat Nasta Prayashu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloki Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. So good morning, everyone. I hope you're doing well. So this morning we've got a little bit of a longer verse in terms of the Sanskrit. And this is chanted in the Brahma Samhita cadence. So I'll read it 3 times and then each of you can jump in. Yacha pralamba-khara-dardura-keśy-ariṣṭa mallebha-kaṁsa-yavanāḥ kapi-pauṇḍraka anye śālva-kuja-balvala-dantavakra saptokṣa-śambara-vidūratha-rukmi-mukhyāḥ mṛdhe samiti-śālina ātta-cāpāḥ kaṁboja-matsya-kuru-sṛñjaya-kaikayādyāḥ yāsyanty alaṁ bala-pārtha-bhīma vyājāhvayena hariṇā nilayaṁ tadīyam yacha pralamba-khara-dardura-keśy-ariṣṭa mallebha-kaṁsa-yavanāḥ kapi-pauṇḍraka anye śālva-kuja-balvala-dantavakra saptokṣa-śambara-vidūratha-rukmi-mukhyāḥ mṛdhe samiti-śālina ātta-cāpāḥ kaṁboja-matsya-kuru-sṛñjaya-kaikayādyāḥ yāsyanty adarśanam alaṁ bala-pārtha-bhīma vyājāhvayena hariṇā nilayaṁ tadīyam yacha pralamba-khara-dardura-keśy-ariṣṭa mallebha-kaṁsa-yavanāḥ kapi-pauṇḍraka anye śālva-kuja-balvala-dantavakra saptokṣa-śambara-vidūratha-rukmi-mukhyāḥ mṛdhe samiti-śālina ātta-cāpāḥ kaṁboja-matsya-kuru-sṛñjaya-kaikayādyāḥ yāsyanty adarśanam alaṁ bala-pārtha-bhīma vyājāhvayena hariṇā nilayaṁ tadīyam. Someone else like to give it a go?
Yecha pralamba-khara-dardura-keśy-ariṣṭa mallebha-kaṁsa-yavanāḥ kapi-pauṇḍraka anye śālva-kuja-balvala-dantavakra saptokṣa-śambara-vidūratha-rukmi-mukhyāḥ mṛdhe samiti-śālina ātta-cāpāḥ kaṁboja-matsya-kuru-sṛñjaya-kaikayādyāḥ yāsyanty adarśanam alaṁ bala-pārtha-bhīma vyājāhvayena hariṇā nilayaṁ tadīyam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Someone else?
Ye cha pralamba-khara-dardura-keśy-ariṣṭa mallebha-kaṁsa-yavanāḥ kapi-pauṇḍrakādyāḥ anye cha śālva-kuja-balvala-dantavakra saptokṣa-śambara-vidūratha-rukmi-mukhyāḥ mṛdhe samiti-śālina ātta-cāpāḥ kaṁboja-matsya-kuru Sṛñjaya-kaikayādyāḥ yāsyanty adarśanam alaṁ bala-pārtha-bhīma vyājāhvayena hariṇā nilayaṁ tadīyam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. One more person.
Ye cha pralamba-khara-dardura-keśy-ariṣṭa mallebha-kaṁsa-yavanāḥ kapi-pauṇḍrakādyāḥ anye cha śālva-kuja-balvala-dantavakra saptokṣa-śambara-vidūratha-rukmi-mukhyāḥ mṛdhe samiti-śālina ātta-cāpāḥ kaṁboja-matsya-kuru-sṛñjaya-kaikayādyāḥ yāsyanty adarśanam alaṁ bala-pārtha-bhīma vyājāhvayena hariṇā nilayaṁ tadīyam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. We'll do word for word. Yay, all those. Cha, totally. Pralamba, the demon named Pralamba. Kara, Dhenukāsura, Keśī, the Keśī demon. Ariṣṭa, the demon Ariṣṭa Asura. Mala, a wrestler in the court of Kamsa. Ibha, Kuvalayāpīḍa. Kamsa, the king of Mathura and maternal uncle of Krishna. Yavana, the kings of Persia and other adjoining places. Kapi, Dvivida, Pauṇḍraka, Pauṇḍraka and others. Anye, others. Cha, as much as. Śālva, King Śālva. Kuja, Narakāsura, Balvala, King Balavala. Dantavakra, the brother of Shishupal, a dead rival of Krishna's. Saptokṣa, King Saptokṣa-śambara, King Śambara. Vidūratha, King Vidūratha. Rukmi-mukhyāḥ, the brother of Rukmini, the first queen of Krishna at Dvarka. Yea, all those. Va, either. Mṛdhe, in the battlefield. Samiti-śālina, all very powerful. Ātta-cāpāḥ, well equipped with bows and arrows. Kaṁboja, the king of Cambodia. Matsya, the king of Dvarbanga. Kuru, the son of Dhritarashtra. Sṛñjaya, the king Sṛñjaya. Kaikayādyāḥ, the king of Kekaya and others. Yāsyanty would attain adarśanam, impersonal merging within the Brahmajyoti. Alaṁ, what to speak of. Baladev, the elder brother of Krishna. Partha, Arjuna. Bhima, the second Pandava. Vyājāhvayena, by the false names. Hariṇā, by Lord Hari. Nilayaṁ, the abode. Tadīyam, of him. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. All demonic personalities like Pralamba, Dhenuka, Baka, Keśī, ariṣṭa, Cāṇūra, Muṣṭika, Kuvalayāpīḍa, elephants, Kamsa, Yavana, Narakāsura and Pauṇḍraka, great marshals like śālva, monkey, and Balvala-dantavakra, the 7 bulls, Sambara, Vidūratha, and Rukmī, as also great warriors like Kaṁboja-matsya-kuru-sṛñjaya and Kekaya, would all fight vigorously either with the Lord Hari directly or with him under his names of Baladev, Arjuna, Bhima, etc. And the demons thus being killed would attain either the impersonal Brahmajyoti or his personal abode in the Vaikuntha planets. Purport. All manifestations in both the material and spiritual worlds are demonstrations of the different potencies of Lord Krishna. The personality of Godhead Baladev is his immediate personal expansion, and Bhima, Arjuna, etc. are his personal associates. The Lord would appear, and he does so whenever he appears, with all his associates and potencies. Therefore, the rebellious souls like the demons and demoniac men, mentioned by names like Pralamba, would be killed either by the Lord himself or by his associates. All these affairs will be clearly explained in the 10th canto, but we should know well that all the above-mentioned living entities killed would attain salvation either by being merged in the Brahmajyoti of the Lord or being allowed to enter into the abodes of the Lord called Vaikunthas. This has already been explained by Bhishma Dev, 1st canto. All persons who participated in the battlefield of Kurukshetra or otherwise with the Lord or with Baladev, etc., would benefit by attaining spiritual existence according to the situation of their minds at the time of death. Those who recognized the Lord would enter Vaikuntha, and those who estimated the Lord as only a powerful being would attain salvation by merging into the spiritual existence of the impersonal Brahmajyoti of the Lord. But every one of them would get release from material existence. Since such is the benefit of those who played with the Lord inimically, one can imagine what would be the position of those who devoutly serve the Lord in transcendental relationship with him. Om Gyana Tamrandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmalatamyena Tashme Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobistam Stapitamyena Bhutale Svayam Rupakada Mayam Dadati Svadpatantikam Vanchakalpa Trubhishcha Kripa Sindhu Bhavya Chapatitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nam Om Vishpadaya Krishna Prasad Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Charaswaminiti Namane Snigta Chaitasya Panedava Panam Charasa Plutam Prabhupada Gata Prananam Bhakti Charapanam. So we are in this chapter of understanding the scheduled incarnations of the Lord and their functions. And here we're learning about some of the demons that incarnated alongside of the Lord. And one of the things that's really important to remember, and today we're going to talk about kind of the purpose of the demons and how they carry out their pastimes. And then I'm going to go a little bit into some of the meanings. Actually, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote in Sri Krishna Samhita some of the understandings of each of the demons and what they represent. And His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami gave a lecture actually drawn from this Sri Krishna Samhita. So I'm gonna draw on that a little bit, and and then we'll talk a little bit about how this is all structured according to the according to what we've learned here in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So when the demons come down, they are here to enact certain pastimes. The demons themselves are they can be inimical to the Lord. They might have some envy. They might want to attain certain boons, certain powers to be equal to the Lord, but we all know that that's not possible. We can give an example with in the Nrsimhadev pastime. We can give an example of the name just flew right out of my head, but anyway, we know that demon personality, he was trying so hard to just attain all of these austerity so that he could attain great longevity. He wanted to be immortal. Hiranyakashipu. So Hiranyakashipu was trying so hard to be immortal, yet that was not possible because he's not the Lord, so he could be defeated. So oftentimes we see the incarnation of these different demons coming to fight with the Lord or fight with the Lord's associates. And so in that understanding of why these demons appear, if everything is under Krishna's domain, why would demon even exist, right? And that's something I've heard this asked before in a religious context. Well, if God is all powerful and God is all good, then why did God create demons? So, and this is an important thing to consider because, Krishna knows that when, he can't create with this clause that says you have to be 100% attached to me. So he gives this opportunity for free will. And in that opportunity for free will, Some take it a little too far. Some want to compete. Some become very envious of the Lord. And then this develops this kind of behavior. And in the Bhagavad Gita, in the 16th chapter, Krishna discusses the divine and demoniac natures, and some of the things that take people, or that make a demon essentially, is pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, and ignorance. And he says these qualities belong to those of demoniac nature, a son of Pritha. And Prabhupada writes in the purport that the royal road to hell is described here. The demoniac want to make a show of religion and advancement in spiritual science, although they do not follow the principles. They are always arrogant or proud and possessing some type of education or so much wealth. They desire to be worshipped by others and demand respectability, although they do not command respect. They trifle over things. They become very angry, speak harshly. They know what should be done and what not to be done. They do not know what should be done and what not to be done. And so we can see some of these qualities in some of these personalities that were listed today. So in this particular chapter, there was, I'm going to go to the first one here. So pralamba. So pralamba-sura is representative. I mentioned I was going to get into a little bit about what some of these demons represent. So I'm going to read a little bit of the explanation of some of the representations of these demons. So pralamba-sura is representative of lust for the opposite sex and the desire for profit, adoration, and distinction. And in this lecture by Bhakti Charus Maharaj, the pralamba-sura came in the disguise of a cowherd boy, and he chose to take Balaram, and he disguised himself as a cowherd boy. So he sided with Krishna's team when they were playing a game, when the boys were playing a game. So then this all manifested, and he took it too far. So he says he decided to carry Balaram and thought he will kidnap Balaram, and if Balaram can be killed, then Krishna will die due to his intense separation from Balaram. So he decided to kill Balaram, because all the demons are being killed one after another by Krishna. So they thought, okay, let's not try to deal with Krishna, but indirectly, we will get rid of Krishna by stealing Balaram. So you can see here that even in today's verse, it says that Prabhupada says they sometimes don't deal directly with Krishna. Sometimes they go to the associates. And here they went to Balaram. So because dealing directly with Krishna is very difficult. You're dealing directly with God. And so it says here, pralamba-sura carried Balaram, and as he got Balaram on his back, he just ran. And then while he was running, he assumed his demoniac form. And from a little cowherd boy, he became a huge demon. And at first, Balaram got a little worried. Hey, what's happening? So Krishna reminded him, hey, you are Balaram. Don't forget who you are. So then Balaram got back to his senses, and Balaram hit on the head, and pralamba-sura was dead. So again, this pralamba-sura is really, he came in and he was disguised as someone else. And we see this also in Putana, this disguising. Putana came as, a milk nurse. And she was a sweet, beautiful milk nurse. But Krishna knew otherwise. And he completely, he killed her by depleting her so much that she shriveled up. And when she transformed from this beautiful milk nurse to a horrible, ugly demon. And so this is one of the qualities of demons, is they pose as others simply to bring, to lure in the innocent, to lure in the devotees and try and steal them away from Krishna. And this is the thing too, even Hiranyakashipu, what was his tendency? His tendency was to try and kill his own son, because his own son was a devotee of Lord Vishnu and was preaching preaching bhakti, preaching devotional service to his childhood friends. So this is one of the qualities we want to be aware of, is that the demons are often posing as someone sweet, someone approachable, or when in Hiranyakashipu's example, the demons are just outright trying to hurt someone. So sometimes you can see this behavior, like they're just outwardly trying to hurt people over and over again. So this is Pralamba-sura. This is his he represents impersonalism, but he is also, and Bhakti Swami says that this is impersonalism is also killed by Balaram, the original spiritual master. So, but Balaram had to be reminded by Krishna, hey, you are Balaram. Don't forget who you are. And then he's able to just one blow to the head, and the demon is dead. So this is Pralamba-sura. The next one that is featured here in the Krishna Samhita is Bakasura. And so Bakasura is represents false religiosity. He represents cunning, duplicity, deceptive behavior, and hypocrisy, the outward manifestation of a false lifestyle of cheating activity. So this is very interesting, right? Because he comes in the form of a crane. And His Holiness Bhakti Swami says the crane is a bird that looks like a swan. A crane looks somewhat like a swan, but the characteristics are completely different. The swan lives in a very quiet, serene atmosphere. This bird also lives in a watery atmosphere. And what does it do? It stands at one place as if it is meditating, and that also with one leg drawn up. So you've seen how the crane stands in water on one leg. It's like almost like a yogi. But what does the crane meditate on? It meditates on fish. It is just watching, meditating on the fish. And the moment it sees a fish, it catches it. This demon came assuming a form of a crane, a huge crane. They were all playing and they saw this beautiful, huge bird. They all, out of curiosity, came there. So Bakasura is waiting while they were all marveling at the sight of this huge bird that was just about to swallow up Krishna. And what did the bird do? It expanded himself, but Krishna expanded himself. The bird could not swallow him. So when the bird went to eat Krishna, Krishna completely expands himself so that he can't swallow him at all. So again, this is completely going up against Krishna. Bakasura went directly against Krishna. Krishna lowered his jaw, pressed his upper jaw, and he tore him apart. So this is how he killed Bakasura. The next one is the Keśī demon. The Keśī demon is the horse demon, and Keśī demon is pride personified. Now remember, this is coming from Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Krishna Samhita, so I'm pulling this from that. So the Keśī demon comes as, I am a great devotee and spiritual master. This is pride. And so His Holiness Bhakti Swami says, then Keśī, as you know, went in the form of a huge horse. He was blowing out a fire from his mouth and from his nose. He was such a terrible demon, and the cowherd boys were so much in anxiety. But Krishna said, don't worry, I will deal with him. So Krishna just stood there tying up his waist. And when Keśī came to swallow Krishna. Again, these demons are trying to just swallow Krishna up. But Krishna stretched his hand, and the hand went into Keśī's mouth so far that his throat got choked, and he just squeezed him out. And then his body became so hot from all the fire in him, and that he died. So again, this is the representation of Keśī coming as this big horse of this great spiritual master and devotee, but he's not really. He's really just there to try and kill Krishna. Another one that is mentioned today is ariṣṭa. And ariṣṭa is the bull demon, and he represents pride arising from indulging in false religions invented by cheaters, which cause neglect of devotional service or bhakti. And it says here, due to their contaminated condition, they show disrespect to the process of pure devotional service to Krishna. This demon assumed the form of a huge bull with sharp horns in its attempt to kill Krishna and Balaram. When the bull approached the village, everyone was afraid. When the bull charged toward Lord Krishna, he grabbed him by the horns and threw him away. But this bull still wanted to attack, so Krishna threw him to the ground and thrashed him like a pile of wet clothing, which forced the demon to give up his life. So we can maybe see this if someone is trying to interfere with one's bhakti. This is expressing this quality of interfering. And we might see this as well. Someone that is inventing, the charlatans out there, the babajis out there that are just trying to get some money or gain some fame. But we have this, this quality of wanting to take those who are really trying to make an attempt at devotional service, and they are saying, no, 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 no. They whether it's from envy, whether it's from false pride, they think that they should be the one being followed. This is all very, very harmful to the devotee. And so this is a very demoniac behavior. So the last one I'm going to go into for the Krishna Samhita is Kamsa. And Kamsa is atheism personified. And his whole purpose is to kill Krishna. And this is really, so we know that the whole story of Kamsa is that when he finds out from Narada Muni that the eighth son of Devaki is going to kill him. And so he's killing all of the children up until that point because he doesn't want to be killed. Instead of surrendering and accepting that by the Lord, he is determined to save himself and determined to preserve in the knowledge that he's going to get killed by God. He kills everyone in his wake to try and prevent that from happening. And so this is, these are some really good examples. And there's a lot more, actually. I mean, it could take us a little bit to get through all of these different, all of these different representations of the demons. But this gives you an example that the demons are also, what they can represent is also things within us. So in the prior yugas, it is said that the demons manifest, they fight directly against the Lord. They're in their physical bodies. But in Kali Yuga, the divine and the demoniac exist within one body, meaning that we have qualities of demons and we have qualities of the demigods all combined into a single person. And that is Kali Yuga. And that's what makes Kali Yuga so very bewildering, because we have certain qualities, and some of these qualities that I've read, we may have seen people with these qualities. Maybe we felt a little bit ourselves like, ooh, sometimes I might do that. Oh, geez, like I need to really be careful. Maybe sometimes we find ourselves becoming angry over something very trivial, and these are the qualities that are given: pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, ignorance. These are the qualities of the demoniac nature. And when he's saying nature, Krishna's saying nature in Bhagavad Gita, that means that is a quality that can be possessed. So not demoniac people. It's not saying the whole person necessarily is demoniac, but there's a nature, there's an aspect to that person that has some of these things to them. And in present day, we can see, like I said, some of these, they're intermixing so much that it can be really hard to dissect where it's coming from. It can also be very difficult to assess someone if you're seeing some of these qualities, but you're also seeing some good qualities too. In Kali Yuga, it can make things very treacherous in terms of interacting with people. that, and hopefully not interacting with devotees, but it could happen, but interacting just in general within the world, that we might not be able to trust everyone. We might feel like someone's getting one over on us, or they're trying to get one over on us. We might feel like someone's lied to us, or they're trying to hurt us intentionally. And that can be very painful to recognize that someone's intentionally trying to hurt us. And these are some of the qualities, that are present, that can be present in a person that also has some positive qualities as well. So the demons, there's different types. The demons can have two different ways of fighting the Lord, because at the end of the day, they're all trying to most likely be God, compete with God. They are envious of the qualities of God. So in prior yugas, the demons were manifesting. They were trying to kill God. They were trying to kill God's associates. Now, what happens to these demons? Well, this is the thing that's very interesting, and it's talked about in this verse, is that all of these things are occurring, and these these demons, if they're killed by the Lord directly, then there's a very good chance that they will merge into the Brahmajyoti, or they will actually go to the Vaikuntha planet. And we can say, well, how's that possible? Why would that be? But if Krishna is killing someone, that's actually a boon. Like Bali Maharaj was killed by the Lord, and he received the boon of going back to Vaikuntha. So these types of scenarios are very much, and we see this all throughout the Bhagavatam, we see these different scenarios where these demons are being killed by the Lord, and we read that they went to Vaikuntha, or they merged into the body of the Lord. And this is one I've heard a number of times in Bhagavatam, that the demon merged into the body of the Lord. Now, what does that actually mean? Do they lose their identity? Do they go into the Brahmajyoti? What's actually happening when it says they merge with the Lord? And when I've asked this question in the past, and the explanation that I received was that when the demons are killed and they merge with the Lord, they actually are going into the Brahmajyoti, but it's the impersonal experience. It's not in that personal relationship. So when the body of the Lord, the Brahmajyoti, is really an expansion of Krishna's energies. So if they're merging into those expansion of energies, then they are not interacting with the personal form. So, but they're still getting some elevation in that merging, and they might come back as associates of the Lord in the next lifetime. And we see examples of this, that you see examples of different pastimes where demons have actually, or demigods have actually chosen to come back as a demon, because it's a faster path back to Godhead. Because when they get killed by the Lord, or by Balaram, or by his associates, it actually expedites their journey back to Vaikuntha. So whereas, it could take 7 lifetimes for a devotee to potentially to come back on that path. But as a demon, potentially, if they get killed by Krishna, they could go straight back. So it's like, wait a minute, we're doing all this work. But here, and Prabhupada says, if this is the benefits of those who play with the Lord inimically, imagine what the position could be if one is devoutly serving the Lord in a transcendental relationship with him. So Prabhupada says, if the demons are getting this benefit of going to Vaikuntha, which could be faster because they're getting killed directly by the Lord, if we actually immerse ourselves in devotional service, in thinking of the Lord, manmana bhava mad bhakto, if we are always thinking about the Lord, remembering the Lord, imagine what benefit we would gain there. So we would maybe actually go to Goloka Vrindavan, maybe go back all the way back home to Godhead with Krishna himself. And so so we have some groundwork laid out for us by Srila Prabhupada, but we have to we have to take those steps as a devotee to do the things that are going to get us back to Godhead. And I was listening to a class last night. There was a devotee that came into Philadelphia and was giving a very, very nice class. And he was saying about at the time of death, and Prabhupada says here too, that all persons who participate in the battlefield of Kurukshetra or otherwise with the Lord would benefit by attaining spiritual existence according to the situation of their minds at the time of death. We've seen examples of this in scripture. So at the time of death, whatever our mind is focused on, that we have to be so careful, because even if we lived a pious life, even if we lived a life filled with bhakti, filled with devotional service, that flickering moment at the time of death, if our minds waver even slightly, we might very well come back and have to repeat everything. And we might come back into a lesser body. So we want to be very, very careful in that time of death that we don't flinch. We don't flinch. And the Prabhu who gave class last night, Krishna Kishore Das, he was sharing that, how do we practice? And this is something that was kind of coming up in the discussion after he finished his lecture, was that how do we practice constantly thinking of the Lord so that at the time of death, we're on point? Well, it's that repetition. That's the way we chant our rounds. And even when we're not chanting our rounds, Prabhupada said, chant 16 rounds, but chant unlimited rounds off of the beads. So if we're chanting when we're walking, or chanting when we're cooking, or chanting when we're doing something else, driving, just thinking about the mantra, we're listening to lectures, we're listening to kirtan, all of those things, the more that we can immerse ourselves, the more we're training our brain to think of the Lord. I don't know if you've ever stopped chanting, you finished your 16 rounds and you put your beads down. And this has happened to me a few times. And I walk away and I'm still chanting. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. I'm like, oh, I'm still chanting. And I'm like, I don't have my beads on. That's funny. And I get a giggle out of it. I'm like, well, that's good. At least the fan blades turn for a split second after I'm done chanting, right? Prabhupada says you turn the fan off and the blades still turn for a minute. So we want to get to that point, though, where after we're finished chanting our rounds, our brain is still in that river. It's still in that stream, moving forward on the Maha Mantra, because that is the safest bet. The Maha Mantra is the safest bet. If we can just be chanting the Maha Mantra and hearing the Maha Mantra, if we can't chant at the time of death and we hear it, that is our safeguard. This is why Prabhupada gave us this mantra, because it is our safeguard. That if we are constantly chanting, especially at the time of death, we have a much higher likelihood of going back home to the Lord. So today's discussion is really to understand the demons and what they represent, but also how that they were able to attain salvation by going up against the Lord. But that's not our path. We're not here to fight against Krishna. We are here to be devotees of Krishna. But it's important to recognize some of the qualities of those demons are qualities that we ourselves might actually be struggling with internally. And so the more that we understand what those qualities are, and if we can look within ourselves and say, okay, maybe I do struggle with envy or lust or greed, and I have to really work on that and pray to Krishna and really feed the good wolf. We don't want to feed the bad wolf. We want to feed the good wolf. This is the Native American story of the two wolves, the good wolf and the bad wolf, how, which one survives and which one thrives, the one you feed. So if we're continuously feeding the good wolf, feeding feeding our bhakti, and we're not feeding the demoniac traits, the bhakti will soon be strong enough that will overpower some of those other traits. And we feed our bhakti through japa, we feed our bhakti through kirtan, we feed our bhakti through sanctified food, through association, through listening and remembering, and all of these things. So this is just a reminder today that as we're progressing in our bhakti, it's really important to see all the qualities in our path and how we can really start to focus more on the qualities that are going to get us into that transcendental relationship with the Lord. So I'm going to take a pause here. I have a hard stop at 5 of 9. I have to be somewhere. So I'll open it up to any questions or thoughts. If there's any. Krishna, dear Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, please accept my humble
Hare
obeisance.
Krishna.
Thank you for this wonderful class. And I think I heard that class by His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami, where he mentioned about all these demons and what they represent. Beautiful class. And I must say that always helped me to take precaution in my association because we see so many um, people disguised even in the human society as good people, although they are not, and even
Yeah.
to an extent in the society of devotees. So how to be careful and take precaution. Thank you
Yeah.
for repeating those points. And yeah, I don't think I have a question. Just a comment, like all these demons. So when we hear these Krishna's pastimes associated with these demons, how to make sure we are also not reading them like just a story. Okay, he killed that demon, or Balram killed that demon, but just like people in the Bhakti Charu Swami and you also explained what they actually represent. We can take in that some realization perspective. How can we do that?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just awareness. I think when we're reading Bhagavatam and we're studying Bhagavatam, it's it's looking, like you said, it's not looking at it as just reading a story, but to really try and integrate it and understand it more deeply, not just at a surface level, like a child reading a storybook. So yeah, those are very good points. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mother. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. I also picked up quite a bit when you were talking about the demons that go to the Brahmajyoti and they can come back after. They don't stay in the Brahmajyoti forever. Coming back to out to the material world and as an associate of Krishna. That's very nice. That kind of opportunity for a person just look at a demon's life tracked to usually forming mode of ignorance stuff, being troublesome to others. Sometimes even Krishna's devotees, demons going after them. Krishna kills the demon, he goes to Brahmajyoti, comes back and becomes an associate. And now he has a chance to go back to actually Vaikuntha, not Brahmajyoti anymore. So
yeah,
that all shows the mercy of the Lord.
yeah.
Right?
And we see this transformation in like within the same lifespan of Jagai and Madai with Lord Chaitanya. So yeah,
sometimes, well, some of the demons are actually devotees that come from the spiritual world to play the part of a demon because Krishna wants to sport with the demon. So that part is also there. Yeah. The devotees will do anything for the Lord. They will become demons. That's quite interesting. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah.
Any other comments by the devotees? Still got time.
Yeah, so I think going back to what you're saying about the devotees coming back to Krishna, like I said, Krishna doesn't, it's not he creates, there's this creation, but he's not just wanting everything to just be you have to love me, this is how I created you, that you have to love me, that he gives us that opportunity to go out, and those that do love him enough, like you said, they love him so much that they're like, I'll come back and anything you want, Krishna, anything you want, I'll do whatever you want, even if it means coming back as a demon. And so, and it's a beautiful thing really to think about, to say that's the love is so deep that I'll come back as in my next lifetime as an entity that's inimical to you and spar with you and try and kill you, just so that you can demonstrate your strength and demonstrate you know, the qualities that we need to be on the lookout for. And I think a lot of times with these demoniac behaviors, it really is, it's there to demonstrate for us too, like these are qualities we need to be on the lookout for. And so it's important to like I said, take that perspective on them, because it can be very, very helpful. And even like Ravana, you know, the different heads of Ravana all have different representations of lust and greed, and you know, so you know, there's so many interpretations of those. So yeah, it's really interesting. I saw today's lectures and I started doing some research on it. I was like, okay, you know, this is a really, it seems just like a discussion of personalities and pastimes, but it can be a really deep internal discussions if we go there. So
yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah.
yeah.
This one is not too many texts focus on that many demons we talk about, but he categorized them as those who thought that Krishna was just a very, very significant personality, for lack of a better word. They went to the Brahmajyoti, and those who recognized him as a supreme personality, they went to the spiritual world, like Kunta. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, thank you for that clarification. Yeah, that's important, distinct point there. So good.
Yeah. Okay.
Great. All
Any
right. Well, thank you. Any other comments before I jump off?
Doesn't look like there is. So we'd like to thank you very much for coming on to have a very nice lecture for the week, the end of the weekday. So the devotees have a nice, wonderful weekend. And as you know, we hope to see you in the various temples, being among other devotees, to have a nice sadhu sangha and worship the Lord. Hare Krishna. And worship
Hare Krishna.
Vanchakalpa
Kripa Sindhu Babicha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
Shri Prabhupada ki
Jai. Hare Krishna. Have a wonderful weekend.
Jai.